you're live.
Oh, hi. Hi.
They're over there.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Dylan Talks Tone. Welcome to the Thursday night live stream. And, yeah. We are tired. A little bit frazzled. It's been a long day. But we come to hang out with you, talk about guitar stuff. If you have questions, put it in the chat. That'd be awesome. The whole puppy thing, it's been a long puppy day. I'm just going to say that. Yeah. So, they've been crazy today. And hopefully he gets tired of that toy really quick. It's just been one of those days. As always, hey bud, can we have the other end of that maybe? Right there where there's no squeaker? Thanks. Whatever. You're going to have to deal with it. He won't be at it for long. He's going to be out in a few minutes. So, we have no ads on these here live streams because that's what we do. So if you want to support the channel, you can use a super chat during this live stream. You can use the links in the description. The companies down there that support this channel through affiliate links and whatnot. We got a couple of cool ones down there that aren't even about guitar stuff. There's tons of guitar stuff, Sweetwater and all that. But Starlink is down there, which is cool. Starlink saved our butts during the hurricane stuff. So that was pretty cool. Let's see, 511 Tactical, if you like shorts with lots of pockets, or a kilt with a lot of pockets, possibly. Or backpacks with a lot of pockets. You know, stuff with a lot of pockets. Atlas Stationers, if you want some fountain pens or other stationery needs. And, of course, Amazon. If you use those links, it helps out the channel. If you want to directly support the channel, you can buy guitar stuff at DylanTalksTone.com. Now, this is getting very fun and very cool. I also have like a little breeze between these two.
Very super chat.
Oh, right on.
Okay. Super chat from Van Shank Guitars. Thank you for the super chat. Ivan, he said, hi, Dylan and Leslie. Ad free for the win.
Thank you. Thank you, Ivan. We got a bunch of cool new pickup designs. I've been teasing them out this week.
Super chat.
Oh, awesome.
Super chat from Vinny's World. Thank you for the super chat, Vinny. He said, for the Doggo Treats Fund, squeaky toys, check, ads, no.
Good to know. So, thank you, Vinny. So, we've got 6 new pickup designs coming out this weekend. And they are my best work ever when it comes to aesthetic covers, classy. You want to class up the joint. I'm telling you, this stuff is really cool. We got a loaded pick guard. We got 4 different colors, new colors for loaded pick guards that I think you're really gonna dig. And just so you know, all that pick guard stuff, since I'm making it custom, if you're a lefty, we can do lefty stuff. Accidentally made a lefty.
I was going to say, even on accident.
Even on accident. What made me think of it to say that is, I've got this matte material. It's matte on one side and glossy on the other. And I wanted to make it matte, but I had it facing the wrong way. And I'm like, well, I guess that's a matte finished left-handed pickguard now. We can make stuff custom left-handed.
Cool. So you said the volume's lower than normal.
Oh, is it?
It doesn't look like it, though.
It's probably because the camera volume is lower than normal, which we can fix. So, yeah. Super cool. Super cool stuff we're doing around here. All right.
Maybe that's better, guys.
That should fix it. So, yeah, I just want to say that stuff's really neat, and I don't think we talk about lefties enough. I mean, I'm a lefty, but I play righty, so I don't really think about it a lot, and I wanted to mention that. We're going to talk about off-topic stuff after 9 o'clock, and we've got a bunch of chat questions from Patreon. So there you go.
Was that my cue?
Do you have anything to add to this conversation? Anything I might have forgot?
No, I wasn't listening.
Oh, you were over there just managing comments and Okay.
I did look enough to be like, did you really write down kilt and all that stuff? But you didn't. So you just freestyled.
I
all of
freestyled the
that.
kilt as you would with a kilt. Oh, new shirt coming this weekend. This isn't on the website yet. New shirt coming this weekend.
Said it was better. So
Okay,
it
good.
must have been that. And Robbie F says, I think couch hosting has a better vibe than the bar host. It's way more comfortable too.
It is way more comfortable. Well, we may give that some thought on the permanent basis. We'll see.
Cool. All right.
All right, let's do some Patreon questions.
Rob says, hello, Leslie and Dylan.
Hello.
Dylan, when you play electric for fun, what, if any, effect pedals do you use? Do you play much with modulation and or time-based effects? Just curious.
Okay, so this was the subject of the thumbnail too. I want to know from you, all of you, how much you use pedals in 2024. Have you migrated to, to effects stuff and, I don't mean effects stuff, I mean like all-in-one stuff, right? Tonex, Kemper stuff. Maybe if you're on the more entry-level side, the head rush thing and some of that other stuff. Or even, somebody asked me about a Mustang amp today that's got a bunch of effects in it, which is really cool. So how much are you using conventional pedals with 9-volt batteries and power supplies and cables and stuff on a pedal board versus like the more all-in-one things, whatever form that takes, amps and stuff. I'm a little of both, but 99% of the time, it's either my Princeton by itself or my Kemper with no pedals, unless I'm experimenting with something in particular. Now, you asked about effects and time-based stuff.
Modulation.
Yeah, modulation. And yeah, okay, so I love a Fender tremolo. Absolutely love a Fender tremolo. And I don't mean the vibrato on the guitar, I mean the tremolo, the volume-based tremolo in the amp, which I have on my Princeton. I absolutely love it. My basic rig in all of my stuff when I play my music is this: a little bit of slapback delay, spring reverb, an overdrive, a boost, and a tremolo. And a wah if I'm using a wah for certain things, and sometimes a phaser. It depends on what gig I'm playing, like it depends on what we're doing. But that's going to be my entire setup. I'm not real complicated when it comes to that stuff. When I'm playing that would be like what I would take to a gig. When I'm playing by myself, and playing my own music, like what I would like to write and what I do by myself, it's usually going to be higher gain. So it's going to be, I'm going to pick a Marshall profile or a Bassman style profile, and it's going to have a longer delay on it. No chorus, nothing like that, and some reverb. I'm very simple. Very, very simple. So yeah, I'm curious to know.
You want to hear from some of them?
Yeah, you want to take that? We can.
Yeah.
They can see our face.
They probably don't want to.
I have a weird space after they cleaned my teeth today.
It's probably supposed to be there.
Well, I think there was a spot that was giving me trouble, and they fixed it. And now I'm like, I feel weird.
You feel
Feel weird.
Okay. Sorry.
Also, this glass of Evian tequila is
helping.
So the slurring is not from the tequila; it's from it's from the dentist.
Don't do that.
Don actually called me or texted me today, and he's like, "I might not make it tonight because I'm packing for a moose hunt."
What?
Yeah, he has a family moose hunt that he does with his family every year, and he's like, "What are you doing right now?" And I'm like, I'm actually sitting in the waiting room at the dentist to get my teeth cleaned. So yeah. Since he's a dentist. Little aside there.
Which is ironic.
Yeah. Kind of fun.
Van Shank Guitar says, I think pedals still have a place in 2024. Vinny's World said, I don't think pedals are overrated, but I do think the pricing models adopted by some makers are a bit questionable.
Yeah, like a base model pedal now is $250, $300. It seems like that. Not everybody, right? Like, there's outliers, but it feels like you have to spend $250 or $300 to get something now. Yeah.
Justin Haskell says, I'm a recovering pedal addict. Magic Man says, I have 2 pedals and one of them is a looper.
Oh, wow.
Tim Ziegler says, I only use 2 pedals, a wah-wah and a tube screamer. Are you going to hit me again?
I'm sorry.
Yes, that was a yes. Thanks.
Sorry.
Let's see. John OJF says, I'm too lazy for pedals. Dig on the modeling amps. Got batteries or a charger.
Yeah.
Nurse Medic 97. Still use mostly pedals. Modelers are pretty spendy for me yet. Alan Pettibone, I will never migrate to modeling or whatever you want to call things like HX Stomp, etc. Van Shank Guitar says, I still use pedals. Magic Man says, I have a katana artist with a looper and a Wampler Tumnus and a tuner.
That Wampler Tumnus is really good.
Human Flies, I use a boost and a fuzz. 9-volt batteries, nothing else.
Wow, that's real old school. That's cool.
Jose Daniel Zamora P said, I use mostly my Vox MV50 with a drive, delay reverb, and a looper, but if the amp has reverb, I would ditch that.
So, the Vox MV50 is, remember that little new tube thing that had the tube that looked like a chip, and the amp was only like this big? That's what he's talking about.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Chris Rutho? Might have messed that up. I used to be a pedal guy. Now I'm in love with my Fender Tone Master Pro.
Oh, yeah. I've not used one of those. Obviously, I have a Tone Master Princeton, but I've not used one of those. And from what I understand, they're pretty good.
Dog Dr. Tim said, I haven't made it to pedals yet. I'm still learning to use the controls on my Boss Katana 50 MK2. The brown setting confuses me. Is it supposed to sound shitty?
Yep, pretty much. That's exactly pretty much what it is. And the Boss Katana 50, it's not like you're not using effects because that has a lot of stuff. In fact, you can plug that into the computer and swap out the effects that are in there and stuff. So that's a very full function. And I guess that's what I'm getting at is migrating to that sort of setup where you don't have a whole bunch of crap all over the office or wherever you play, and you have all that stuff kind of integrated in. It's really cool.
All right. Sulla says only delay, amp reverb, and a tuner. Jay Howler says I use both. The analog pedals sound a little better for boost, overdrive, and distortion, but the all-in-one sounds almost as good and is much more convenient.
I would agree with you there. I think in a perfect world, I think you would use analog pedals for drives and boosts and all the digital stuff, because it's digital anyway, for all your time-based stuff, which it is anyway, right? So, yeah.
Joe Healy, I would love to try all of this all-in-one amp stuff, but have no clue where to start, as they all seem to need a computer, and I've never used a computer and don't have one.
Wow.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. Not all of them. The Boss Katana 50 is a very reasonably priced amplifier. It has a lot of functionality with you just twisting knobs and not plugging it into anything. You don't have to plug it into anything for it to work. Can it do more if you plug it into stuff? Yes. But you know, I think I've had two of them, and I don't think I ever plugged it in. I think I always just used it just that. The Line 6 Catalyst is another one that box stock you can get some pretty nice sounds out of it without a computer.
All right, we have a few more.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I figure out where I'm at. Jose Daniel Zamora P says, my AC30, I go raw directly into the top boost, no pedals. It has reverb, tremolo, and of course, great drive tone.
Yeah.
Vinny's World, I only use pedals if they're unique and not included in digital suites modeling capture solutions like the Meowdulator.
Which reminds me, I have one of those around here somewhere, and we need to do a video about it. Dave sent me his, and I need to do that.
Get it to him.
Mm-hmm.
3J Music, I've never used a lot of pedals. I've also not really been able to bond with modelers. My current recording rig, Friedman IRX Reverb Noise Gate with a, I don't know if you're supposed to say RAT or RAT.
Rat. Mm-hmm.
And an SD1 in front for boosts.
Dang! So you're mega gain between that combo. That's pretty cool.
Robbie F, Wet Dry, Fuzz, Morning Glory, Tumnus, EQ to 2 amps in an effects loop of 1 amp, delay, and reverb in loops of both stereo drum pedal and stereo looper.
Yeah, so I've talked to him about this. He's in our Patreon hangout, and he's the one that asked last week about setting up multiple amps and multiple speakers with speaker cables and stuff.
Did you tell him about the guitar you built?
No, I didn't. I will tell him about that now, though. I know that he's like gone all in on figuring out those super fun, elaborate setups, because they are fun when you get them set up correctly. So the guitar that she's talking about, I built it for a guy in Richmond, Virginia, who was a jazz master with no bass circuit. Scratch built, so it wasn't routed up here. It was really a pretty guitar. It was. I did it where it was a pain in the butt. I could not tell you how to wire it. We have a video on it, but basically the way it worked was it had 2 Jazzmaster pickups in it that I made, and it had a stereo jack. When you plugged in a mono cable and had the push-pull down, it worked like a normal Jazzmaster with no bass circuit. If you pulled the push-pull up and plugged a stereo cable into it that went out to a box that split, a splitter box that came with the guitar, so it came with a stereo cable and a splitter box, then the bridge pickup, sort of like a Rickenbacker, the bridge pickup went to 1 amp and the neck pickup went to another amp. So you could play it as a regular guitar, pull it, and it would go out to 2 different amps. And so what he did was he had a complete dry setup. He played in a worship setting. And so he would do these real wet stuff, right? So I think he had a Benson amp and he had another amp. I can't remember what the other amp was. And he had his wet setup on a volume pedal so that he could bring in his wet setup through one of the pickups in the guitar whenever he wanted it. It was bonkers. It was so complex, but it was so neat. We did a whole video about it. Yeah, it was really fun. That was really fun. People have asked me about that setup and the wiring diagram, and I'm like, I cannot remember because I literally did it wire by wire and figured it out. And I didn't write it down.
All right. Bryant McGallion says HX Stomp all the time.
Yeah, those are cool.
T-Bone says the worst pedal I ever owned was a Tube Screamer. Made my Strat a mid-range nightmare.
Yeah, that's what they're supposed to do, though. Yep.
Ibji says a tuner pedal doesn't count as a pedal. Steve says, I've been rocking a Line 6 Pod Go for about 4 years, but been getting back into pedals here lately. Call it nostalgia or whatever, but you can't go wrong either way. Whatever works for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Big Kahuna, I've got the Line 6 Catalyst 100 watt stock and love that amp.
Yeah, that thing's cool.
Joe Healy said, good to know that not all need a computer. Now to further date myself, I was a junior in high school when I first saw a computer.
Wow. I was not in high school.
Susan Banta, my pedal board is gathering dust since I got a Vox VT.
Oh, wow. VT, no kidding.
All right, that's what I had. I don't know if anything else came in. Jose said, shot for every time Dylan said wet. Didn't that guitar have lights too?
That guitar did not have lights.
Which one had lights?
Which one had lights? Well, I did one with Wayne that had lights. And I
thought
did
it was
one
the same
for
guy, because I remember
No.
we just talked to him about it.
No. I did one for Jason Sabo too.
All right, I'll knock that drink
here's
over.
my phone.
Robbie F says that guitar sounds really cool.
Oh, it was really neat.
All right. All right, you want to go to the... Don't we have another question? Aren't we on the same
Yeah,
question
we're on.
still?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, let's do it.
Matt, good evening, Dylan and Leslie. Thanks so much for posting up that coil split video this week. I ripped apart my PRS 2408 last night and was just mortified at the odd wiring mess that was in there. I had to call it quits last night, which had me staring at the ceiling most of the night. This morning, just went to the basic wiring from the video and bam, everything is working perfectly. Got the center punch installed and the split sounds great with drive.
Excellent. That's what we want to hear. If you watch that video from Monday, there's a way to get free CTS push-pull pot. Brand new stuff just came out on the website. Oh, that's the other thing that came out on the website this week. Is we added these brand new CTS push-pulls that are sweet. Well, they're not new, but they're new to our site. And I really like them. I just built a pickguard with them today. One today.
Sean, good evening, Leslie and Dylan. I recently acquired a 2008 low mileage Gibson Flying V with a working robotic tuner. Is this a good guitar? Haha, just kidding. Are you aware of any resources for the ins and outs of the robotic tuner? A Google and YouTube search revealed very little. Thanks.
Yeah, you know what? I forgot to look this up. Hang on one second. Let's see really quick. Those tuners were made for Gibson by a company called Tronical. Tronical. And they actually work really well. People gave them a lot of shade, and I'll stick to this. That they're a great product, actually. Gibson didn't market them correctly, and they forced everybody to buy them. It was a bad deal. That was just a bad deal all the way around in 2015. That being said, that product is actually very good. And so if you look up Tronical, the user interface might be a little different because I think they made them proprietary for Gibson, but the overall idea and how they work, if you look up the Tronical stuff, you'll be able to find pretty good information on it. I got a buddy in Florida who uses Tronical stuff on purpose because he does a bunch of alternate tuning stuff, and he said he can tune his guitar in like no time to different tunings and stuff, so they do work. They're pretty neat.
All right. That was the end of that.
Cool. I guess see who has guitar questions and can put them in the chat, and we'll just chat it up.
All right.
Super chats.
Rusty Shackelford says, "Hey Dylan, did you get my pickups in the mail? Should have come Saturday, just making sure they got there."
Oh, those were yours. Yes.
That's a yes.
Yes. I hope to have them back out to you tomorrow or Monday. Yep. He bought a Texas Toast guitar and he wanted mesh top pickups in it, and there was some sort of miscommunication between me and Matt and Rusty, so I just told him I would do it. Why not? So I told him take them out and send them to me, and I'll convert
gotcha.
them. I'll convert them to mesh top. No big deal. We can do that stuff. So.
Charles Davis says, "Hello, Leslie and Dylan. What is the difference in parallel and series in pickup configuration?"
I'm going to do a video on that. It's basically, think of, okay, series wiring is where you take two things and you put them in line with each other, right? So think end to end. So if you took and this is not how they're in the guitar, but just think about it this way. If you took the two coils and you laid them end to end and you added up their output, that's series. Okay, so you have two 3.8K pickups and you put them together, that's it ends up being somewhere around 7.6, 7.4. It doesn't add up 100% because of the way the electricity works. But now you have that series and that's a humbucker. When you do parallel, instead of putting them in line, you actually hook them both up at the same place, more or less. So you take your positive and your negative and you put them here, and then you take the other one and you put them here too. And so they're hooked up at the same time and they're both on, but they're not hooked up end to end. Okay? And so what that does is when parallel wiring in anything is you take the overall resistance of both of them and you divide it by 2. So you end up with a very low output, but still hum canceling, and it sounds like a single coil. But it does not sound the same as a coil split. So there's a difference. It doesn't sound as much as a single coil. Like if you were to take one of our DAFs, for example, and put it parallel, it would sound very single coily, but it would not sound as legit single coil as one of our center punches hooked up in series and then coil split. They are a little different. So I want to do a video about that because that's something that people do ask about. That's a good question. So we'll dive into that deeper in a video.
Deeper dive.
Yeah.
I don't know what this name is. Build H Jugga. I don't know. I need to replace the bridge on my Strat. After that, I plan to order a loaded pickguard, so I'm excited for cool new options.
Dude, the stuff we're doing. And that being said, if you're doing something, so like that, and you're planning something right now, hit me in the chat on the website, man. Be like, hey, can you get green marble? Can you get hot pink sparkle? Can you get like whatever? I mean, I don't care. I might say no because it might not be available, but chances are it is. I was showing Leslie some of the crazy stuff we could get the other night, and it's really neat. We can get a lot of cool materials, and I'm experimenting with a lot of stuff. So hit me in the chat, on the website. We did a deal for one of our Patreon supporters. He hit me in a private message, and he's like, hey, I got this particular Les Paul special, and I want all that purple pearloid stuff, swirly pearloid stuff, but I want the back plate, I want the poker chip, I want the, and so we did a custom invoice. It cost a few bucks because it was, like a custom thing, but, think about it like this. If you want something and you can't get it somewhere, when it comes to that aesthetic stuff especially, let me know. Because I'm really enjoying doing it. It's so much fun. If you're on Patreon with me, you'll see the stuff, even the stuff that never makes it to sale, like even all the experiments and stuff. What I hope happens when you see these things is it just fuels your imagination. You'd be like, hey, okay, I don't want that in that color, but can you do something in? Hit me up. It's so fun. I'm busting in her office multiple times a day. Check out this cool new thing I just figured out. Like the matte finish thing this week was like takes everything to the next level.
Yep. So Sean is the one that asked about the flying V. He said, "Thanks, Dylan. It has the option to help intonation as well." And then Tim Ziegler shared that Crazy Parts in Germany has the parts for the flying V tuners.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense because I think Tronicle is in Germany. I think.
Chris Rutho, sorry if I'm saying that wrong. That's one of those, like, it looks like there's too many vowels, but I don't think you say them all. And there's an X on the end, so I don't think you say, like, that whole section.
Right.
But I could be wrong.
If you want to phonetically say your name in the chat,
Yeah.
she'll try to catch it and try to at least try to say your name right.
He said, also, I just installed the loaded strap pickguard I bought from you.
Oh, awesome.
Jose Daniels Amore P said, we need a shirt for the I Would Never guys. Kind of like the Jagged guys, but they can be quirk sniffers as well.
That's a good idea.
New Gun Guy says, what are your thoughts on the Marla amps and their philosophy?
I don't know because I've not heard of that. I am writing that down.
Sir Riffs a Lot. I had to pull that one because
I love that
that's
name.
a great name.
I've seen it before.
Shared their pedals. I don't know, do you say 8-10? 8 to 10? I don't know. I have an 8 to 10 pedal rig, tuner,
Yep.
mini wah, DS1, chorus, delay, ricochet.
Interesting. Okay.
Did you get the Marla?
Marla amps has been noted.
Cool. So we don't know yet. Don't know about their philosophy yet. Can you ask philosophical questions on the fly and expect an answer?
Bring it. Don't even get me started.
Jose Daniels Morpee said, I have a cool idea. Kind of like a Jimmy Page Dragon Telecaster tribute, but with engraving on the bridge pickup and the metal parts and the neck with the same pickguard material. Just saving up a little more before reaching out.
Could do it.
Curtis Chavez says, ooh, imagine a Paisley thin line Tele with hip shot fixed bridge and a pair of Dylan humbuckers with a Paisley laser etching.
I mean, all you got to do is have the money to do it.
John OJF says, rad designs on the vault.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, if you go to dylantalkstone.com, we completely rearranged the website
I was just thinking,
a couple weeks ago.
do you like the new layout?
Yeah, hopefully it makes it easier for people to find stuff because we put the pickup parts in one spot, and you can actually order a lot of these custom covers without pickups, right? So if you want a Paisley engraved P90 nickel cover, you can just order it, and it won't have my name in it because it's not the P90, but it, not my P90, but to put it on your guitar, you can have that. And then also all the other pickup parts and stuff and magnets and flat work and all that kind of stuff. And then we did all the electronic stuff, pots and caps and jacks and all that stuff in one section. And then there's a clearance section, and we're actually tomorrow I'm going to be adding a few things to the last, we call it the last chance section. That's going to be there. So we're going to add a few things to that tomorrow. Sometimes those are one-off things. Sometimes there's just a couple of them. Sometimes that's where my experiments go that don't, I'm like, I'm not going to carry that as a full product, but this is cool, and somebody might like it. So I'll put that there, And then, of course, the vault. where we're putting completed products. Most of the stuff on the vault is already made, too. So, like, somebody just bought one of those fancy loaded pick guards the other day. That's already built. So it literally goes in the mail the next day. Most of the stuff, not all of it, but most of the stuff on the vault is ready to ship, just so you know.
Joe Healy said, the puppy dog has been quiet for a while. Did she fall asleep or is she getting into mischief?
No, he's right here. He's out.
He is a boy.
He's a boy. He's out.
He is knocked out.
Today was absolute dog chaos. So when we first got him, we'll tell you about that in the off-topic hour.
Oh, here's New Gun Guy says, Marla makes hand-wired amps in the USA at affordable, relatively, prices. Of course, the features are limited to make the whole thing possible, but I think it's cool.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, hey, if they can pull it off and be solvent, that's cool.
Dog Dr. Tim said, can you laser into a painted finish?
I have not tried it yet.
I'm sure you could, but does it look good?
Yeah, so the problem is that when you heat certain things, they start to delaminate. I'm really bummed out because I'll tell you now that it's not happening. But I was gonna be the coolest guy on the block ever because I bought a bunch of micarta and G10, and I was gonna do layered micarta and G10 pickup tops, and I can't cut it with the laser that I have. Well, you can't cut it with a laser. It just burns. So, like, for example,
But you could engrave it, right? Could you get somebody to cut it for you?
yeah, probably. So, like this knife right here is micarta. So this is like a bunch of canvas put together, and then what I basically wanted to do is make like pickup tops out of this. And if you've ever,
thinner?
it was way thinner.
Okay.
So if you ever want to see like some of these knives, I don't have one in reach. Got them way up there, but where they'll do like layers, where they would have like a micarta layer and then like an opposite color G10 layer, like where the liner on the knife is like that. So I was basically going to make like knife handles, but then make them into pickup tops. But my laser wouldn't cut it. So there's certain materials that in a painted finish is kind of like that, where it heats it up and it basically kind of melts it, and then sort of delaminates it. And so I don't think it'll work. And I don't really want to waste a $200, $400, $600, whatever it costs body to do that.
To paint something? I mean, to try it on paint?
To buy a painted body and then burn it.
Can't you test it on something smaller?
I can't do those finishes to have an accurate. I mean, we can paint stuff. Oh, you mean like?
I mean, can't Chris like paint you a small piece of wood and mail it to you or something?
Yeah, he could.
Why not?
Some test panels. That might be a good idea. Maybe I'll try that. Yeah, I'll talk to Chris about it. That's a good idea.
Because if anybody knows paint.
Maybe that's a good idea. That's a great idea. And we'll just do. Let's just have him send me a couple of blocks of
Yeah,
wood.
because I'm sure they have scraps. Like
Yeah, but he could just
and we don't
treat
care
like
what
a normal
color.
guitar
Yeah.
and seal it like a normal guitar and whatever, and just because that's what we did with the Strat body that we did for Eric. I had Steve send me a bunch of cutoffs of alder so that we could test on
Did
blocks.
he get that?
He should have it in the next day or two. Yeah,
He's seen it though.
in a video. Mm-hmm.
So does he like it?
I think so. Yeah.
I hadn't heard. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
I think he's pretty stoked on it. I'm stoked on it. I think it's awesome.
wild.
If you want one of those custom bodies too, we do those. They start at $550 and go up from there depending on what you want.
John OJF says the new hat is bomb. Just opened mine. Like.
Oh, cool. A new hat?
He must have ordered did somebody order a hat recently?
He ordered a tomahawk hat.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool.
Dog Dr. Tim said, I asked because I would be interested in an image of Gilmore on the upper rear area of a strap body. Could always do a natural finish.
So, yeah, that could be done. I mean, it totally could be done.
Let's see.
Upper rear on the back side. So here's the trick with strats. Arm contour is tough because it has to be flat. So like if you'll notice, if you go back and look at the video that we did on that strap body we just did, we stayed off the contours because we didn't, as the body falls away, the distance between the laser and the surface has to be a set distance. And so as it rolls off, the laser has to go longer and longer, and it comes out of focus. The beam gets too wide, so it can't be super accurate. So there's that.
Magic Man, what is your ideal weight for a guitar?
6 pounds.
So light.
So light. I like light guitars. Unless it's a Les Paul.
Alright, so these aren't really guitar related, but nothing's coming in, so y'all better get them in. You have 17 minutes.
Yep.
Robbie F. said, puppies are a lot of work. Ours chewed up a power supply cable for one of my amps over the weekend.
The chewing part is mostly under control because we have enough toys and we don't really leave stuff laying around. So we, as a rule anyway. So I think that isn't the biggest deal. It's the house training. It's the house breaking
There's
him.
plenty of cords he could chew on if he wanted to. The fire marshal would definitely dock us.
He did walk by the vacuum cleaner charger and just pull it out of the wall and then keep walking.
No, I told you, I thought he did that, but I saw him do it today, and he wants to squeeze everywhere. That doesn't stick in the wall very good, so he was trying to squeeze in between the cord, and so it just fell out of the wall.
Oh, okay.
I don't think he meant to, because it scared him also.
Yeah, he that is true. His thing now is trying to go behind the couch.
Yeah.
And
he doesn't know how big he is right now.
No, he doesn't know. He's learned that he can make noise today.
But he scares himself.
He barks and scares himself.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
He looks around like, who's barking?
Yeah. Yeah. The other dog, Bandit, his reverse is really good.
Yeah.
He'll go in somewhere and get a ball and back out and not touch anything. This one doesn't even know what reverse is. He's totally goofed up. But he's so floppy and big and kind of oafy right now.
Yeah. It's going to grow into his body.
Yep.
Dog Dr. Tim says, I need a tactical kilt. You can't get your skirt blown up wearing pants.
Hey, man. There's a link in the description. I tried to buy one the last time we were in person at a 511 store and Leslie wouldn't let me.
Wow.
I mean, that's the only thing in 12 years that I've been in a store and you're like, no.
But that means you did really want it. If you really wanted it, you would have bought it. It doesn't matter what I think.
No, that's true.
So,
yeah, that is true.
If you ask me jokingly, and my answer is no, 100% no, but...
That is true. If it was the tan one and not the camo one, I probably would have bought it. And they didn't have my size.
Don't blame me.
Because there was only one and it was on clearance.
Don't blame me.
So, okay, I won't blame you. That's true. Because I probably still would have bought it. Super chat.
Super chat from Kyle Ketchamonia. Thanks for the super chat, Kyle. He says, I'm excited for a Fender Noventa Tele and T-Bridge. I think I saw it before. My stepdad ordered it for me. Love that guy. Gotta save up Dylan P90 now.
Awesome. You might as well get a cool one. And Kyle, if you want to do some kind of native themed cover for that, let me know. That'd be fun. Depending on what you're... So, you know, like, my tribe doesn't actually use the tomahawk that's on that thing I made for that hat. I'm looking for a tomahawk, but it doesn't look like that because our tribe didn't use that kind. So whatever you think might fit you, if you can find me an image of it, that would be really cool. I'd be totally down. Or even a pattern. You know, like the Navajos have like the Two Gray Mountains, and they have, you know, all the, you know, Black Mesa and all those various patterns that they use in rugs and stuff. So if your tribe has something like that, dude, that'd be super cool. Because a P90 has a lot of room. You could do really neat stuff on the top of a P90. And for anybody else, too, the P90 has a lot of room on it that we can do. It'd be really neat.
I'm going to jump back to some guitar questions before I go back to some random questions if we have time. Trevon Logan says, what's your favorite classic style bridge for a Strat floating?
So I am pretty traditional when it comes to my Strats, and I like a regular 6 screw, and I will still float it. I have, now that being said, I have a bunch of Strats, and none of them are floated. And the only floated guitar that I have is a 2-post PRS. So, but I like to Jeff Beck float a 6 screw. That's my favorite. I should do that on that gold one. I should float that gold one. Be an excuse to do a video about it too.
Joe Healy said, are there any all-in-one pedals to know about that don't need a computer?
You would have to ask somebody else other than me. I think most of them are pretty computer-centric now. You know, Joe, you might... I'm assuming you're watching this on like a phone or an iPad or something, or some sort of tablet. You might be interested in a positive grid. And don't go crazy with it either. Get the mini, because I know you travel a lot. So my van amp, and I think you have a van. My van amp is my positive grid mini, and it hooks up to my phone. I don't have to hook it up to my phone. I can just use the little, you know. And there's a lot of effects and stuff in there. If you use a bunch of different effects, you have to hook it up to your phone. But you can hook it up to your phone or your iPad or whatever. You don't need a computer. And I'm assuming you're watching this on something with a screen. So it probably it's probably compatible. There's a link to it in the description because we do have affiliate links for Positive Grid. I really like it. And I use mine all the time. So if you want to get into what it feels like to have a modeler, it's not a Kemper. You know, you can't compare it, but it's way cheaper, way lower entry point of messing around, no computer needed. You already have a smart device. You can travel with it. It's rechargeable. That might be your jam.
He said, iPhone 15 Pro Max, and yes, a van.
Then a Positive Grid Mini is your jam. That's what I would get. If I was you, of anything, that's what I would get. It would be the most versatile for everything you could do. Because no matter what it sounds like, even though it's small, once you plug it into a computer to record with it, I know you don't have one, it sounds amazing. But what you can also do is plug it into your phone. So if you plug it into your phone and record with GarageBand or whatever on your phone, it will sound like you're in a studio.
Yep.
It's amazing.
This thing is crazy.
Oh, I know. In our van, a lot of times when we're traveling, I'll bring an iPad and that. You've seen videos. You don't even know it. But you've seen videos that I've recorded in hotel rooms, on trips, in the van, in the motorhome, where it was a Positive Grid Mini with an iPad. And that's the whole guitar tones for the whole video. And you have no idea because I didn't tell you. It's that good. So that
Because if he'd have told you, you'd have
people would have been
you'd
mad.
have heard it.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds like a. And you wouldn't have, but there would have been people that would have said that.
Magic Man is the one that asked you about your ideal weight guitar. He said, my SG is 5.4 pounds, and I love how light it is.
So I have an SG Junior, and it's wicked light, and I agree.
Philip Iacone says, hey, I have an early 50s Epi Tone Spectrum pickup, coil on its side with a fat bar magnet through it into a keeper with pole pieces.
Mm-hmm.
How does a coil on its side affect things?
It still does the same thing. The difference is going to be it's basically how they orient the magnet in how they reorient them. It's how they orient the magnet in relation to the coil, which is going to be in the middle of it, or there's going to be a bar and then a magnet. I'll give you. So I'd have to see that to give you a full-on explanation of it. But there's a lot of those pickups of that era. I can think of Hagstroms, Tyscos, a bunch of stuff. They'll actually look like humbuckers from the outside because they'll have this weird coil that's sideways. And then it'll go over to these pole pieces and it's connected to a piece of metal. So it'll be kind of wide, but it's actually a single coil. Kind of like that. So yeah, that was not uncommon in that time period. Depending on the price of the guitar, too.
Kyle Ketchamonia said, my people have star blankets. Very interesting. Thanks.
Yeah, dude. For real. If you can come up with a digital pattern, a digital version of a pattern, or even a really good photo of something, I could probably make it very cool. I would love to do that.
Jay Howler says, can you make pickup covers with a scorched metal look?
Yeah. Yeah, we have done that.
Zeke Assman? I don't know. Question about wiring.
Cool.
Certain pickup arrangements lend themselves to being switched on the ground side. I read that this isn't great as it leaves the disconnected pickup acting like an antenna. This true?
So it's going to act like an antenna whether it's connected or not. The simple fact that it is a wire wrapped around a bunch of times is inherently an antenna. When it is not part of the circuit, it is less so. So that is actually not true. It's actually the opposite. That's neither here nor there because it's such a non-issue. Like if you were to plot this on a graph with down here being 0 and up here being totally affecting everything, it would be like so far down here that it's not even worth making an issue about. I mean, I think what gets it up here towards this is how many people talk about it in a Facebook group or whatever. Like, it's just not that big a deal.
Rob Sirasuolo?
A lot of new names tonight. Welcome, everybody. If you might have been like lurking around and not commenting, but maybe you're new. I don't know. Welcome. It's really cool.
He says, hi there, I got a job. I'm going to save up for some stuff.
Sweet, dude.
Nurse Medic 97 says, when you do the series parallel video, could you also do in phase, out of phase for those of us interested in doing Jimmy Page style wiring?
That will be a different video. It's actually, yeah, I have plans to do, okay, so I'll just, FYI, I have plans to do a few videos on this kind of alternate wiring stuff. The next wiring video we're actually going to do is a spin-a-split video, where we're going to do, where you take a coil split and then you can put it on a potentiometer and you can actually affect how much of the other coil comes back in. So we're going to do that because we just did the coil split thing, so we're going to do that. We're also going to do coil tapping, where we're going to make a coil tapped P90, or maybe a Tele pickup, I don't know. Probably a Tele pickup because more people do that, and show you how pointless it is to actually do that. Coil tapping versus coil splitting is different. We're going to do that. We're going to do a spin-a-split. We're going to do a phase, and we're going to do a series parallel. Those are all coming.
Cool. Junior Foster 1999 says, what are your thoughts about sustainers? I kind of want one, but don't know where to start.
Oh my gosh, I had one. It was so fun. I didn't have it for very long. I just got it for a video. In fact, I picked it up at Sweetwater. Remember that? It was like it was when we were in the motorhome. It was that like that lavendery colored guitar. It was a Schecter. Dude, get one of those Schecters. It's I think it was like $800, and it was so fun. And it had like 2 or 3 different settings on the sustainer. The Sustainiac really is the only way to go. I mean, when you say I don't know which way to go, just get the guitar that you like that has that Sustainiac in it. You know, but that guitar was really fun. I'm just not that kind of player, so I couldn't fully exploit what it did. But Sweetwater actually sponsored that video. We talked about sustainers. We talked about Focusrite stuff. We did 3 or 4 videos, and they sponsored that series. And they gave me one of those guitars, actually. And it was really, really neat.
So Zeke's name, that I didn't know how to say his last name, is Aasman. And I said, I don't know what I said. But anyway, he said, cheers. Thanks for the answer. It's pronounced Ace Man, but I also go by Ass Man too. Love the channel. Inspiring work you guys are doing.
That is amazing. I love it. And thank you for commenting. I'm positive that we've not seen your name in the comments before. Otherwise, we would have laughed about this before.
Ace Man.
Ace Man is also a cool name. I play poker, so I dig that.
I probably will say that wrong because now that's all I'm going to think about when I see it.
It's Ass Man.
Yeah.
We didn't play poker this week, actually.
Nope. It's 8:59, and I feel like we're at the end anyway.
Okay. Well, let's tell them.
Tell them.
It's off-topic hour. So, here's how this works, especially for those of you that are new. We talk about guitar stuff until 9 o'clock. And then after 9 o'clock, it's off-topic hour. So you can still ask a guitar question after 9 o'clock. However, if you're going to ask a guitar question after 9 o'clock, it has to be in a super chat. Otherwise, we're going to ignore it. And we want to encourage you to ask as many off-topic questions as you can or want to.
As you can. Like it's a contest.
Yeah, as fast as possible. Lightning
Jeez.
round.
Please don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. You can ask any question you want. We probably will answer it. We do not talk about religion or politics on this channel. Other than that, it's just a way to get to know you and hang out with you. That's it.
All right, so we had a few. Oh, wait, we have one that came in prior to.
Oh, on Patreon?
Charles says, thank you for sharing your evening with us. I don't know if he's here, but thank you, Charles.
Thank you, Charles.
I haven't seen him in the comments, but that doesn't mean he's not here, because he's usually here.
Yeah, he's
Thanks,
usually
Charles. Jose Daniel Zamora P said, when a woman wears a skirt or dress with pockets, whenever they get compliments, they show the pockets. It's the law. Magic Man says, I have a rabbit and he chews up everything.
Yeah, but rabbits, aren't they made to chew up everything?
I think they have to like grind their teeth down, right?
Do they?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or they keeps growing?
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise they have like rabbit tusks.
Yes.
I don't know. A rabbit is something I've never had the interest in having.
Jose Daniel Zamora P said, did they ever tell you were holding pens wrong because of lefty? We used to joke with a friend that had horrible handwriting with that.
So my handwriting used to be terrible. And when I put effort into it, I can make it really nice now. But it's since I got back into since I got into fountain pens, I really enjoy writing, and so I really have. I practice. Like I do practice now. Like when I'm making just scribbling notes, I'm scribbling notes. But most of the time, I mean, I'll sit and like this is my journal, and I'll sit and I'll write, and I just write to write. When I was a kid, one of our punishments was like the Bart Simpson thing, like I will not 100 times or whatever. And I used to get like this raw spot in my my finger right here, and from doing schoolwork and stuff, and my hand would be all black because I used to do the whole hook over the top thing.
Yeah.
And so since I've been writing with fountain pens, of course you can't do that because you smear the ink all over the place. So I actually shot a video for the other channel about writing with fountain pens with your left hand, but I didn't really like it, so I'm going to reshoot it and do it again. But it has made it to where I do write proper, like more correctly posture wise and stuff, because I used to do that left-handed thing bad, but not so much anymore.
Dr. Tim said, kilts are cool. I know because I wear them year round. Go commando.
I mean, duh.
Year-round kilts when you deal with pets. That sounds
Yeah.
challenging. He said, we used to joke with this friend, like, no wonder your writing is so bad. You're holding the pen wrong.
Yeah, because you kind of hold it upside down. It's weird. And we were just watching a video about this the other night, because one of the things we were talking about the other night was, because she has an interest in calligraphy, and I bought this new pen that is supposed to be like more. We got a video coming out about it on the other channel, but it's more for art and calligraphy. But we were talking about it, and when I watch the videos of people that write with calligraphy, especially in calligraphy and cursive, I cannot make my letters look the same way. And the reason is because I push the pen across the page from left to right because I'm left-handed. You, if you're right-handed, pull this way. So the way the letters flow from one letter to the next is different than me because I'm going a different way. I'm going the opposite. So we were watching some videos about that and realizing that, yeah, it's different for sure. And I've never really put that much thought into it, but it's a weird thing to put thought into, I guess.
Ibg says, what's Leslie's poker tell? What does that mean?
She doesn't play poker. That's what her tell is.
What does that phrase mean?
The tell? When it's what you, it's like how you can tell if somebody's bluffing or if they have...
Oh, see, that's why I can't play poker. I can't lie.
Yeah, but it's not about the lying part. It's about the responses. So like when I get a hand, okay, hopefully nobody is watching that plays poker with me, but
You probably shouldn't talk about it then.
it's very difficult. Let me just say this. That's one of the things that is important when playing poker is to understand that how good your hand is has nothing to do with your cards. Sort of. It's all a game of numbers, and it's all a game of percentages of if I have these two cards, there's four other guys here, looking at how they respond to when they look at their cards. So like looking at their face, that's why they wear sunglasses and hats and stuff on TV. Because when you flip your cards over, depending on how you react to it, I can tell whether you have a good hand or not. And based on the two cards that I have and how many people there are, and like once the flop goes down and there's three cards, okay, I'm like, okay, there's a very low percentage that somebody has the combination of cards that will beat what I have. there's a very high percentage of combination of cards that's out there that will beat what I have. But when I make those calculations, I have to make sure that I do not show any kind of the goal is to not show any kind of visual response to that tells other people that I think I have a good hand. And when you do that, everybody has a tell. They always do. The guys that I play with, I mean, I could tell you most of them. Yeah, I love poker. I love poker. I love playing it. She doesn't play games.
Any kind of
I don't play games.
Joe Healy says, "What are you drinking tonight, Dylan?" I've got Maker's 46 tonight.
I'm actually drinking Avion Reposado Tequila.
Kyle Ketchmonia, "Hey Dylan, did you ever play any video games back in your day? I'm 35. Just got back into retro games because I needed more hobbies besides film and music."
So, I, of course, am an ultra gearhead. And so, the computer game of choice for me was Motocross Madness. And then I had all the Xboxes up until, 2018 or so, maybe?
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
I had Xboxes till we moved out.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Until we moved out of the other house. And I had a PS5, 4, but I don't know, whatever. But I was an Xbox guy. So I had every rally game. I was a big Forza guy.
So these aren't retro.
Yeah, no. So, big Forza guy, global leaderboard, steering wheel, chair in the living room, pedals, the whole deal. That's my favorite thing when it comes to video game stuff. I would have it again, I just don't have time. I'm, as you obviously, if you've been following this channel for more than 3 minutes, you know that balance is not I really get into stuff. So, if I were to get into it again, of course it would be, my brother has, the built chair with, all the screens wrapping around, and, yeah. Dirt, so all the rally stuff, the Dirt, Colin McRae, all that stuff, that was huge. I loved all that stuff.
Jose Benito Martinez Jr. says, "Have you both ever been to Mexico? And if, what was your most favorable takeaway?"
You have not been to Mexico.
Nope.
I've been to Mexico many, many times. My parents lived in Mexico for 12 years. They lived in Sonora. They lived in a little town called San Carlos on the mainland side of the Baja. And so I went down there many, many times. Of course, I've been to Rocky Point a billion times. I lived in Arizona, so we went to Mexico all the time. And this is back in the day, 20 years ago, I guess. And then when I was in the power sports industry, designing dirt bike parts, we worked with some race teams that did the Baja 1000. So I've spent a lot of time on Ensenada, and the Baja side. I've ridden dirt bikes down to, not all the way to La Paz, but I've been on the Baja of California a bunch as well. Yeah.
So do you have a favorable takeaway?
I broke my collarbone in Mexico and had to ride a dirt bike for 4 hours with a broken collarbone, so that wasn't necessarily favorable, but it was super fun. That whole trip was great. Going to the start of the Baja 1000 was probably, the times that I've done that is probably one of the funnest things I've ever done. The festive atmosphere of that. My sister got married in Mexico. So that's also a super cool. My nephew was born in Mexico. So yeah, I have a lot of good memories down there. My parents had a huge house down there because you could get one, and so they lived. It was I loved Mexico when I went down there so many times. I don't know if I do it as much now, but man, I loved it. Yeah.
Dog Dr. Tim says a really good quality fountain pen makes me write so much better, but I write much slower.
Yeah. Tim, so I got my first monograppa this week. I got a monograppa Elmo 1. So I got a video coming out about that. This just came this week. And then let me tell you, this thing is, it's just a Yovo nib, but the Italians know how to take a simple thing and make it pretty. It's wild. It's like when you look at that versus, this is German, and this is also very cool, but it's, and then this is German, and this is very cool, but super simple. But man, the Italians know how to make pretty stuff.
Where were we that time we saw somebody at a bar, and we talked about Italian things, and he was like, they're either really good and sexy, or they're terrible.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like all Italian, that was his opinion. So this is slightly guitar related, but I was curious about this, so I'm going to say it.
Okay.
So Eric Luddinger
Yes.
says, hello, Leslie, Dylan, and Brianna. I am joining late and just wanted to say I got the artist engraved body today and I love it. It is a beauty. Thank you, and especially the artist, Brianna.
Which reminds me, I have to pay her for that.
Anyway, I just said not too long ago, like, did he get that? Does he like it?
And that's the other thing I want to mention too about that is those guitar bodies, when we do original artwork on that, Brianna's doing that. I think somebody was like, I would rather have something that was done by hand and not by a machine. I'm like, no, you don't understand. Brianna's like drawing this. Like this is, yes, we transfer it to a digital media so that we can put it on a guitar accurately. But it took her weeks to put that together. And I am paying her. She gets a large percentage of when we do these things. She gets a large percentage of that because I'm paying her because she is the artist. And so when you buy one of those, you are supporting that. And because I just want everybody to know that because I think it's so cool. I love supporting real art, and I like to encourage her because she's good and she's good.
Well, and I think so. Eric,
and she needs to know she's good.
Well, Eric was the first one.
Yeah.
So this was the first one that either of you have done. But I think that is confidence building in her because she got to see the finished product. Somebody wanted it. Like, I mean, I don't think she's actually done like commissioned art like that before.
No.
So.
She's drawn some tattoos for some people.
And it was, but I don't think they paid her for it.
Yeah, she got.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's hard for her to have ideas out of thin air. But she is good at it when she does it. But I think it was confidence building for
She's
her.
working right now. I just texted her to tell her. Thank you, Eric. Because I'm going to pass that on to her right now because she will no doubt love to hear that.
Rob F. said, when I sold office supplies in the 90s, Mont Blanc had a jewel-encrusted fountain pen for $25,000 at the time.
It's not hard. 25 grand is not hard. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Mike Morty, best fidgety EDC knife and views on Kaiser.
So, I don't have any Kaiser. And, best fidgety knife. it depends what you call fidgety. So, something like these right here. This is a Civivi Cogent, and this is a button lock. So you push this button and it unlocks it, and it's got a thumb flipper on it too, or it's got a flipper tab on it. This is really cool. This is a Civivi Elementum with the Damascus blade, and this one's not as fidgety, I guess. So the reason I brought those two down is because they're both made in China. So I don't typically. Those two I have 3 Civivis, are the only Chinese knives I have. I don't have. Everything else is either American or German or Japanese. And I don't know why. I was thinking about it the other day, like, you know, the whole made in the United States thing. Of course, I try to. A lot of this stuff is makers. Like, I try to support people who make things, like we were just talking about. But Kaiser is, you know, they're a Chinese factory, but they support a lot of designers. So, like, if I wanted to design a pocket knife, I could call up Kaiser and they could be my OEM, and I could design it from scratch, and then they would make it there. Mm-hmm. That's Civivi does the same thing, and we. And I think it's really neat that they do that. So I've been thinking about getting some of their stuff and doing some videos on it because I feel like they're a lot more accessible. Some of the stuff up here is so expensive that, you know, to get a good pocket knife for not a lot of money is hard. I should say on our Etsy store. So we have and what made me think of this? What made me think of this is I forgot. We've sold 2. I think I've got 3 left. I want to start selling personalized quality pocket knives on our Etsy store. So we have an Etsy store called burntperfect.com. BURNT perfect.com. Burntperfect.com, and basically it's my off-topic laser store, if that makes sense. And on there right now we have, I think I have 3 left. I think we've sold 2 of them. You can either personalize them or not. But I did import them from China because I wanted to see how good they were. Mm-hmm. And they were very good. They're very good. D2 blade steel. They are they're D2 blade steel, canvas micarta handles, Tonto blades, really neat grinds. A little chunky, you know. They're not. But they're really nice, and they're really big, like really good work knives. Like 3.7-inch blade, really nice knife. And we're selling them for $50 personalized. And I think Kaiser is in that same realm where it's like, make the thing more accessible. And yes, that's not to say I will not continue to support, you know, all the American builders that I care about still. But I'm also supporting all these artists that are designing knives for people like Kaiser, for people like We and Civivi and stuff, you know. So I think it's neat. And maybe someday I'll design a knife and have somebody like Kaiser or who else is over there, you know, Riot or any of those companies that make really good stuff, you know. Yeah.
Magic Man said he was a Gran Turismo nut.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to get back into it. And Matthew Altamere said he was too. He'd buy PlayStations just for that.
Yep.
Curtis Chavez says, I borrowed a small Cabela folder from my sister-in-law. It seems fairly nice, but the action is really bad. One-handed fidgeting is out. What's your favorite small folder less than 3 inches?
Favorite small folder less than 3 inches is...
Whoa.
Automatically Hogue Deca. It is cheaper than a Benchmade bug out. It's just about as light as a Benchmade bug out. And it's made in the United States. It has Magna Cut blade steel. This is a little more expensive one because of the combination of stuff, but you can get, this is a great little knife, man. I think they're 2.8 inches, something like that. This is an Elishewitz design. Yeah, Hogue they make really great stuff. And anytime I'm going to do anything, like if I'm going to wear shorts or something that, I don't want to weigh down my pants with a bunch of stuff in it, this is the knife I'm going to grab. Of course, you have the Benchmade bug out too, but it's $170 now. They're kind of getting expensive. And I think this is probably $50 cheaper than that. And to me, it's a better knife.
Fox and Hound said, "Hey guys, Dylan, I bought a laser etched control and pickup set for my Tele this week, and I got it today. Thanks. I can't wait to get it installed."
Awesome. I hope you dug it. That was a really fun thing to make. We actually just burned another one today, or yesterday, that I think people are going to like.
Jose Daniels of Morapee said, "I want a pair of humbuckers with her art. Funny enough, it's for an Epiphone Sheraton that is also flower themed. That and the dragon themed Tele hardware is on my wish list."
Flower designs on a pickup. That's an interesting thing too. Okay.
Dog Dr. Tim said, "I love my Kaisers. Very good quality, unique design, and nice price. Civivi and Sin Cut are good too. My flip tonight is a Sin Cut with green micarta. Love button locks."
So, one of you, and I don't remember who it was, I apologize, gave me, literally sent it, I think they sent it to Matt. And it's a Sin Cut, and it has a Damascus blade with carbon fiber scales. And Brianna carries that knife every day. And I just sharpened it for her day
And
before
she washed it.
And then she washed it in the laundry.
And stabbed herself.
Yeah, she's like, "What is this?" And, yeah. But she carries that knife every day, and she loves that knife. And I do too. Sencut and Civivi are very reasonable. So it's is like their $350 to $800 to $1,000 super custom stuff. Civivis are in the mid range, and then their Sencut stuff is maybe $100 and below, or $75 and below, and their edges are always really nice. They're always really, really, really sharp. They have really thin behind the edge, so behind the edge right here is very thin, so they stay sharp. They cut really well. It sounds dumb to say that a knife cuts really well, but sometimes when the blade stock's really thick, it cannot cut as well. Really good knives. Sen cuts are really nice. They're really nice.
Fox and Hound says he digs it. Jose said, "Instead of sending Brianna a message, you should have sent her payment."
Yeah, I will.
Dog Dr. Tim said, "Would you custom engrave my knife blades if I sent them to you?"
Yeah.
I would be interested in some dragon image engraving.
I'm working on dragon stuff right now. Actually, I found an image last night that I really like. So the problem with, not the problem, I guess it's a problem. The dragon stuff is tough because you want it to be super detailed. But then when you make it small, scaling stuff is always the hardest part. So it looks awesome when it's this big, and then you make it this big, and then the lines are all too close together and it looks stupid. Or you find something that's really neat and you make it bigger. It's just tough. So I'm working on it. I'm working on it. But
if you have ideas, you should share them with them too.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I've got somebody right now who wants a custom set of Enduros with, I don't even know what. He's like, "I'm working on art right now."
Oh, that's cool.
And this is what I want. And then Devil-Eyed Elvis in the comments. He works for a firearms company. I don't even know what he wants. went bonkers on me on Twitter X, and it's like, I bought all these parts and we're gonna do this super cool thing, and so I don't even know what he wants, but he wants something really cool. Same thing. He's drawing up an original piece of art or conceptualizing an original piece of art that Brianna's gonna do.
Oh.
Super fun. This is so fun to me. Yes, we make the same awesome pickups that go underneath all this stuff, but somebody's like, you need to get back to just making pickups. I'm like, well, we do every day. I mean, we got a stack this high of boxes going out every day.
You can still just
we are making pickups every day, but the fun and the creativeness that comes from it all, and I hope it fuels you guys too. Like, oh, I didn't even know I could get that. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I hope. It's so fun. I love it. What else?
That's it.
Yeah.
9:27.
I'm trying to think if there's anything off topic-y. Oh, we're just going to talk about the dog too. So today, well, going back a few days. So when we first got the puppy, for the first few days, our other dog wasn't here. So our other dog, Bandit, that you've seen in some of the videos, and actually in tonight's thumbnail, is not our dog. It's actually our daughter's dog. And it really is her dog. Like, she takes him everywhere, and she, So she was out of town for a few days, and she had the dog with her. So when we got our new puppy, he wasn't here. And so when that dog came back, it was a whole new level of drama. Them getting to know each other and stuff, and they're still working on that. And then we thought the other dog got pink eye, so we had to separate him again. Turned out he didn't have pink eye.
Well, he wasn't contagious.
He wasn't contagious. So then we lost a few more days of developmental getting to know them time. So it's just been chaos. Every time, for the first hour and a half of them being together, whether that's in the morning or after they wake up after a nap or whatever, they're just bonkers. And today was a weird day because Brianna had to go somewhere this morning, and then she gets back and it's a bunch of excitement. And then I had to go somewhere and come back, and you're trying to work, and the dogs were just bonkers all day. I mean, it was just chaos in here. And then last night I had to make 8 center punches or something. I wound them all wrong. I mean, not really wrong. I just wound the wrong. I thought I was making something else. So basically what I did is I wound a bunch of Thruxton bobbins when I should have been winding a bunch of center punch bobbins. So it was whoops. So now I have a bunch of Thruxtons almost ready to go. So that's pretty cool. But I have all these orders for center punches. So this morning, I'm trying to get caught up. The dogs are going crazy. I have to go to the dentist. She's got a bunch of meetings. The dogs are going crazy. Brianna, it's just been, this day has just been in absolute chaos.
Yeah, because you can't leave
No.
them, you definitely can't leave them together unsupervised, and you can't leave the puppy unsupervised at all.
No, and he had to pee 70 gallons today. I don't know why, but for some reason, he just was processing a lot of liquid today. So I don't know what the deal is. But now he's crashed out, so it's cool. And he sleeps through the whole night, which is great. Except for he'll wake up twice during the night just to see if you're there. He'll just pop his head up and poke your hand or something to see if you're awake. Because he's already tall enough to get to the edge of the bed. He's big. But 10 till 6, awake. 10
No matter
till
what
6.
time you even go to bed.
Nope, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
10 to 6, he's awake.
gonna be gone for a week soon.
You? I know. It's gonna be chaos in here. It'll be alright.
I'm gonna sleep so good.
You were working today, and I tried to like clean up, and that's the other thing. We got toys everywhere, and so I tried to clean up and just get the house back to. It just felt like such chaos. I was just like, I need to put the house back together. Like, take care of all the clutter, take care of anything that was out of place as much as I could, because I just needed a reset this afternoon. And you were working, and she was gone, and it was good. It gave me some time to do that, but yeah, it was a crazy week. Crazy week training a puppy.
Yeah, and not sleeping through the night is exhausting.
It's hard, yeah.
Even though he sleep, I mean, I'm impressed actually.
Yeah, I thought there was gonna be
Whining and
yes,
crying.
yeah. When it's time to go to bed, he goes to bed.
Yeah, he's done really good with nighttime stuff.
Yeah.
And as long as you reach down and pet him, like, he goes right back to sleep.
Yeah.
But you still hear him, and you hear his collar, and you hear him whatever he's doing, and it wakes you up.
Yeah.
It wakes me up. Then I have to wake you up. It's like having a baby for real. Like,
yeah.
how do dudes just shut that crap off? Like, do you hear that? It's right beside you.
And of course, since he's a puppy and we're trying to house train him, it's like every transitional period. Like if he's taking a nap and he gets up, you got to take him out.
Yep.
You know, if he's plays for a few minutes, then you got to take him out. Like you just got to make sure.
We haven't had any rain since we got him. I wonder what that's going to be like.
And the other thing is, the other complication to this is that we don't have a fence right now because of the hurricane. So we can't just
let him run around.
Well, that's the other thing too. Is like today, the level of energy was so high. Like he was just bonkers, and I couldn't just let him go because we don't have a fence right now.
Yeah.
So I've got a contract. I've got an estimate. I'm trying to get this contractor out here to get this, but everybody's fence is down. So it's like we're in this weird spot. So yeah, it's been a bunch of puppy management, but I don't care. He's awesome. I love him. I think he's great. But there is a curve to it all. Anyway. Anything of note in there?
Kind of guitar related, but I'm going to say it anyway. Corey's Garden said guitar and music is fun. Just got the email yesterday that my P90 got shipped. Can't wait to put that booger in my Tele. Thanks,
Excellent.
Dylan.
Yeah, we just shipped a bunch of P90s yesterday.
And Mike Morty said, thanks, Dylan. I would love to see a Kaiser collab with you. They seem to be great at keeping current. Special editions and affordability is good too. Take care, mate.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever be able to do a knife because I would love to do a knife, but the problem is the minimums. So, they'll work with anybody, but you have to be willing to commit to the minimum. So you actually have to buy the, however many. So let's say it's 5,000 or whatever, or 1,000 or however many it is. You have to be willing to have that many made and pay for them. And so that's the problem. So that's why you'll see like Kickstarters and stuff for that. Because what they'll do is they'll work out whatever the minimum order is, figure out what their Kickstarter is, and then if they get the Kickstarter, then they'll do it. So that's the way a lot of people do that stuff. I'd actually really like to do a fountain pen too. I have an idea for a fountain pen. And I actually have somebody who might do it for me. So I would actually rather do a fountain pen than a knife. Because I think the MOQ would be a lot lower. It would be more expensive, it'd be a couple $100 for a fountain pen, but I think it would be cool. So.
Cool.
Yeah, man. I'd also like to do a guitar.
Alrighty.
Thanks for hanging out, you guys. there's probably going to be a video tomorrow.
Cool. See
We'll
you
see
later.
ya.